Hey Sun Space Sun, I'm Daisy Victoria. I know that you have a very important question that you are just dying to have answered. And today we are going to explore it together. I know that your question that plagues you is, can I hike in a corset? Well, let's find out. For this experiment, we took our very professional team of corset researchers on an assignment to test the functionality of two different corset styles in a typical hiking environment. There are a lot of corset myths out there about how restricting and uncomfortable corsets are, about how you can't move or even breathe in them. The reality is that corsets were a foundational garment, and we've worn them for hundreds of years, and in fact, we can actually do all kinds of different activities in corsets. A properly fitted corset should not restrict you or make things uncomfortable. In fact, it should be supportive and comfy. So let's see if that holds up for hiking. We are going to send our professional corset researchers on 2 hikes in 2 different corset styles. The first hike is going to be a little bit milder and lighter, whereas the second hike is going to be more intense with more elevation gain. So we're going to see how the corsets hold up for both types of hikes. Since this is an experiment, it's important to form a hypothesis first. What do you think is going to happen when we go on these 2 hikes in our corsets? Let me know below. Are you ready? Let's go hiking. This corset researcher is me. I'm wearing a mid-Victorian corset, which I constructed for 1860s reenactment and living history. This corset has been to many events over the years. It's been on battlefields, field nurse demos, all kinds of cool stuff. And I know I can wear it all day and feel pretty comfy. This is Joy. Joy is wearing late 18th century stays, which is basically an earlier version of a foundational garment which later evolved into the corset. This is also an older garment of mine that's seen quite a bit of wear, and for that reason, I actually know that it's quite comfortable and it's well broken in. Not only is Joy a professional corset researcher, but we've also determined that Joy and I are twins. For this reason, people always get us mixed up.
Make sure to help them tell us apart.
So just in case you can't tell which of us is which at any point in this video, just remember, I'm the one wearing the Victorian corset and Joy is the one wearing the 18th century stays. Just so you don't mix us up.
Right.
I know that's going to be a problem. Do you think we're going to make it through the hike? Will we die?
What if I can't breathe?
Oh, we'll have to cut you out of the corset, right?
Oh,
like in
with Jaws of Life.
Yeah, there's like in Pirates of the Caribbean, right? Like, you can't breathe, cut you out of the corset.
Right, just get the Bowie knife out.
Right. That's really what the knife is for when you go hiking.
Right.
Make sure you bring your knife in case you need to be cut out of the corset. It's very important for our corset researchers to properly warm up because we want to make sure that we get the best results possible in this experiment. We started with a shorter hike. We hiked somewhere around maybe 2 miles of this trail. The whole trail only has an elevation gain of 367 feet, so it's fairly flat, especially for the region. There's a bit of up and down on small hills, but other than that, not too much, not too crazy. We did these hikes in the Pacific Northwest in March, where it's a bit chilly. So in addition to our corsets, we are also wearing medieval hoods for a very well-rounded, history-bounding hiking look. I will also note here that Joy and I are both experienced hikers, so we do know what we're doing in terms of actually hiking. However, both of us have been rather inactive the past year of quarantine, so we are getting back into it, and we expect to have some muscle fatigue with or without the corsets. We're both wearing a shirt underneath our corset, and that's something that you see throughout history with corsets. You see some layer being worn beneath the corset and on top of the skin. That layer provides a barrier between your skin and the corset. Both of these corsets, or more properly the corset and the stays, are constructed with a canvas structural layer, and then there's a fashion fabric layer as well. And all the fabric I used in these corsets are cotton. Both the corset and stays are boned using steel. The Victorian corset uses a front busk, that's where you see those hooks, and both corsets lace up using metal grommets.
Now we could do the scene from Robin Hood with Kevin Costner where they were like fighting on the log. Of course, you know martial arts, so that's like dangerous, right? Oh God, I'm afraid mine is gonna snap. It's holding okay. High five. Daisy. Daisy. Oh, there you are. Oh my goodness.
So how are you feeling in the corset?
It's the best. I want a million of them to wear every day.
I like how, like with a sports bra, you know, the straps kind of dig in and compete with the backpack straps, but now there's none of that happening. And there's no elastic around my underbust, but still I'm supported. You know, nothing's going anywhere. It's like so much more comfortable.
It feels way more comfortable because I hate the elastic in the typical hiking and like active wear tank tops and sports bras.
We should be hiking in corsets all the time. Like, what are we doing? Like, we haven't been hiking in corsets till now.
Forget hiking in corsets. Like, why am I not wearing them all the time?
Exactly.
Just all the time. I look fabulous while I feel fabulous.
You do. And what's better than feeling fabulous is looking fabulous while you feel fabulous. Wow. We're gonna keep on going. After our shorter hike, we felt pretty confident to do a longer, more strenuous hike. It's also pretty common for us that if we haven't hiked in a while, we just get all our hiking in one day or one weekend, so might as well go for it. This time we went on a hike that was a total of 4 miles, and the elevation gain was 1,275 feet. So this one was much more strenuous and much more of what feels like a good, solid, real hike. Along the way, both of us forgot we were wearing corsets most of the time, or at least we didn't really think about it because they just felt normal and comfortable. So we were really just thinking about the hike and all the cool stuff we saw.
So, interesting thing to note is that I am not used to wearing corsets or structured garments like you are. So for me, this was a really brand new experience, and it was totally amazing, and I don't want to stop it. So, I mean, I feel like that's important to say.
Totally. So question that I think might come up, how is the breathing compared to normal breathing?
Fine. It was, like, for me, I mean, I didn't notice any differences.
Perfect. Yeah, for me, like with the corset, because it's not cinching into where I take my breaths, it's not really affecting it. If it was a lot tighter, then I would have to take shorter breaths and just take more of them. But in this particular corset, it doesn't really give me a noticeable effect.
Well, neither of these corsets are like waist trainers either, right? And that's the ones that would really restrict your movement or your function, right?
Yeah, these are both made to be supportive, but not to really cinch you in a bunch.
Right.
Like, it might cinch you a little bit depending, like, where you're at, time of month or whatever, but it's supposed to be there for support. Like, that's the primary function.
Yeah.
So the conclusion of our experiment is that you should definitely hike in a corset.
Yes, nothing else. Well, no, definitely something else, but I mean hike in nothing but a corset.
So the conclusion is that we loved hiking in our corsets and we felt they were very comfortable and in fact preferable to our non-corset options.
Look at that.
That's the tiniest little pine cone.
That's ridiculous.
The verdict for the long hike is that the corsets were really comfortable, actually. Like we were saying, we get all of our years hiking in one day, so the soreness and the muscle fatigue is not from the corsets, but from not hiking for the last year.
Most of the hike, I didn't even remember that I was wearing anything different than normal everyday clothes.
Right.
I did get a little bit cold when I had taken off my sweater because of the cotton layers. I have a cotton shift shirt underneath and the cotton stays. So I was a little bit cold when the sweat on the cotton. But, you know, like layers, hello, hiking, layers, good. Oh, and bending, right? Like trying to pick up trash on the trail. You can't bend as easily. That was something.
Or you gotta bend a certain way, right? Like not with the back.
You have to bend at the hips.
You gotta bend at the hips.
Yes, bending at the hips. So it's actually ergonomically better, but that's the only thing that was awkward, was I'm not used to ergonomically bending. So.
Yeah, you gotta get used to it. And that's interesting because like, for me, I've worn this corset so much that I don't even notice that. Like that's just the way I bend when I wear it. And it seems normal.
I think that as I acclimate, like it'll just become really natural.
Yeah.
It's only because we're so used to slumping and like, boy, we move weirdly.
I totally forgot about it too, actually. Because you don't think like the whole hike for miles up and down a mountain, I'm wearing a corset. No, you think like, oh, where's that going next? Look at that pretty tree. Oh, a waterfall.
Man, these steps are steep.
Yeah.
My booty's burning. That's
Right?
what you think.
Yeah.
Don't slip in the mud. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Verdict is in.
Awesome. Definitely, I like it. Do I have stuff on me? Fantastic.
We're in the
This is part of
woods.
my styling.
I lost your accessory.
I know. I was gonna put styling credit to the forest. Let's go home.
Macaroons.
We're gonna eat macaroons and we're gonna sew some stays.
Finish sewing.
finish
some
our stays.
All right.
Now is a really important part of the video. If you recorded a hypothesis at the start, let's see if we proved or disproved it, or if we found more information. Go back to your hypothesis, and now let's see, how did the experiment fit with it? Did it support your hypothesis? Is there something else that we found out? Do you have more questions? Let me know. Which corset do you prefer? Would you rather hike in the Victorian shaped corset, or would you rather hike in the earlier period stays? I really love both of these pieces, and it was so awesome to get to hike in these corsets. Overall, I think that Joy and I both would honestly like to wear corsets and or stays all the time, which is why we decided to make a pair of stays while I was there. So make sure you come back to see how that went. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure to do that and hit the notification bell so you see my next video and the future ones too. Find me on all the social medias as Daisy Victoria. My website is daisyvictoria.com. And a special thank you to my patrons who help me so much to continue creating videos for you. Well, I think it's time to go finish up that new pair of stays. I'll see you again real soon. Hey, Duel.